Well, hello there, everybody. This is Carla, and welcome back to the studio. And thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday, which is actually being done on a Sunday. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind, so give me a second here. I just want to bring up the video on my laptop so I can kind of see how things are laying out and everything is good. So again, this is my Throwback Thursday video. This is actually a video from, hold on a second. One, two, how do I got three? Hold on a minute. Hold on, please. Let me see something here. I am doing this kind of like in a private mode, I hope. How could three be watching? How could three people be watching this? Hmm, that's very interesting. I got it on my cell phone and I got it on my laptop. I don't know who the third person could be. Hold on a second. I think I am. Yeah, this is okay. I don't know. Um, this is really weird. It is the visibility is unlisted, which is when I do my pre-records, I actually do it as a live, but I do it unlisted. One time I thought I did and I didn't, and I actually had company when I did the video. So it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I just keep on going with it, but I just thought it was kind of interesting to see that three were watching when I only have really my laptop and my phone. So yeah, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me, but here we are. So let me get back up to the video and let me kind of explain what's going on here. So yes, it is Sunday, February 1st, in which I am filming this. This is my Throwback Thursday video. This is the video that should have posted back on Thursday, January 29th. Last week was a pretty hectic week, and I just wasn't able to get the projects done. To be honest, it was like, when I put in a whole, when I work that whole day, sometimes like afterwards, I kind of get into this like kind of like this shutdown mode, and it's like the just trying to get my mojo going and coming up with ideas. It just doesn't happen. And so that's kind of what happened with this particular bundle. It's a very cute bundle, and I shouldn't have had so much difficulty, but I did. It's the Just a Note bundle. This came out as an online exclusive item. I don't remember exactly which one it was that it came out. It could have been, I think, um, maybe in July. What's really neat about this stamp set is that you do have the stamp that has these lines on it, and then you got some script greetings in here. But then what's really cool about it is the set of dies. So the Just a Note dies, they're in a little tiny package. And in these dies, you have some really cool ones here. So you have the die that's gonna cut like your spiral bound paper. You have like a clip here for doing like a clipboard. You have the solid piece, and then the little springy part for your what are these called? Binder clips. You got paper clips. You got little arrows and a heart star, and then like a heart shaped paper clip. And then you got these little like these little arrow tabby looking dies along with your little arrows right there. So the set of dies are really cute. And I was able to get the projects figured out today. um, yeah, for some reason, nothing was really coming to me as far as this bundle went. Usually during the daytime, like morning, early afternoon, that's usually when I am best at, figuring out projects and all that. But again, I apologize. Again, this should have been posted on Thursday, January 29th, and here it is, Sunday. February 1st, so we're now into February. Um, Last week was so busy that even my Friday night live didn't happen on Friday night. It actually happened on Saturday night. So again, in my the way the videos are in the channel, they are posted like in the order that they were filmed. So this particular Throwback Thursday is going to be after my Saturday Night Live rather than before it. I can't, for any reason, I cannot rearrange any of the videos in there. So yeah, so this time it's a little bit out of order, and I'm really hoping that this coming week everything is going to flow a little bit more smoothly. This isn't the only video that I am going to be posting today. As a matter of fact, being that it is the first of the month, I always do my monthly Christmas card inspiration video as well. So that's going to be coming up after this. The bundle that I am using, I do have it sitting over there. However, I can't quite tell you what the name of it is, but yeah, that video is going to be coming before the night is out. So kind of stay tuned for that, because soon as I'm done with this, I got my picture, my little video thumbnail already done. I got my whole description write-up stuff all done. I just have to add it when I'm finished, and then I'm going to post this. So you'll see this right away. I'm also going to be using a couple of other stamp sets and sets of dies with this as well. But before we get started, what I do want to make mention, again, I'm filming this on a Sunday rather than a Thursday, so I do want to make mention of this before we go any further, because tomorrow is going to be the last day for this. So every year, I don't know, I can't remember if it's more than once or not, but Stampin' Up does bonus days, and it started on January 6th. It's going to go through February 2nd, so tomorrow's the last day. So for every $50 that you spend, now this $50 is after you have applied any Stampin' Rewards or any coupon codes or anything like that, and before the tax and the shipping is added to it. For every $50, you earn a $5 coupon. Now, the way it works, say you place a $50 order. After you place your order, you will receive an email from Stampin' Up, and it's going to have your coupon code. The coupon codes are like an alphanumeric number. You want to hold on to that. Now, if you place, say, you place a $200 order, well, then after you place your order, you will receive one email, and it will have 4 coupon codes in that email. So you hold on to those emails. What I like to do is with Gmail, I can add a star to it, just so then that way it's easier for me to find the emails after the fact. Or if you have placed multiple orders during this promotion and you have many coupon codes, what I like to do is I like to take them and copy and paste them into a Word document. And typically I will use all of them in one order. So all I have to do is just copy and paste all those codes into the box for the coupon codes in the cart. So February 2nd, again, is the last day in which you can earn those codes. And then starting February 3rd, going through the 28th is when you would redeem them. You can redeem just a couple of them on, one order, and you can use the rest of them or some of them on another order that you place during the month. The one thing you just want to remember is that this is going to end on February 28th. So if you have any more coupon codes left after this promotion and it's March 1st, they're no longer going to be valid. So you do want to make sure that whatever you earned up through February 2nd, that you're going to take advantage and redeem them with an order that you placed during February 3rd through the 28th. So I just wanted to make a quick mention about that. Usually I do all of that housekeeping type of stuff when I do my Friday night lives. I did make mention of it last night. I will say that that video that I did, what did I use? I used the Valentine Kisses bundle, and I will say there have been a lot, I mean, a lot of views on that video. So I appreciate it and thank you so much for all of those that stopped by and took the time to watch that video. So that was a Valentine's. Next Friday, this coming Friday actually, is going to be the Made with Love, I believe is the name of the suite. So another Valentine's suite that I'm going to be doing next week. So again, this is what we're going to be doing for the Throwback Thursday on for January Thursday, January 29th. Okay, so let's get started on our project. So the first card, it was actually, let me see, there's other stamp companies that do, that they may make something that's a little bit similar. And so this was, I forget who it was now. Like I said, it's another company. It's a set of dies that they sell in their online store. They had a picture of the project, and I thought, you know what? I like the color combination. Even though there's different stamps and different dies in their bundle, I thought, well, let me work with what's in this bundle and kind of come up with something of my own. So okay, I got it open. So my card base is basic white thick. It's 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of basic black two-tone cardstock. So you have the dark side and you have a light side. This cardstock does have a white core in it. Ahead of time, I did emboss it using the Forever Plaid embossing folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a sanding block and I'm going to lightly sand the front of this, and you will see some of that white core come through. So kind of adding what they used that was like designer series paper or scrap paper. I'm kind of creating my own with the two-tone cardstock. Ahead of time, I did stamp on a piece of basic white cardstock, the line image that's in the stamp set, and I had used Summer Splash ink, and then I die cut it with the die. Again, being that this is a red rubber cling stamp set, you can't exactly see through the stamp and make sure everything is straight. So when I typically like to die cut things ahead of time before I go live, so then that way, or when I go to record, so that way it takes a little bit of time off of the video itself. So again, Summer Splash ink, stamp the lines, and then die cut it with the die. I have a piece of Coastal Cabana that measures 4 by 2 1/8. And then I have this designer series paper. This is from the Modern Christmas designer series paper. It was what, an online exclusive for, I want to say November. And yeah, oh no, September. It was September. So there is a pattern where it's all white with the black polka dots. I got two of them cut here, and each one is 3 inches by 1/2 inch. And then out of some scraps, out of the silver foil, I have die cut the large paper clip and also the little handle or springy part to the binder clip. And then the binder clip itself, and then this little heart here, I die cut out of Poppy Parade cardstock. And then the star, that's also in the set of dies, I die cut that out of Daffodil Delight cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to fold and I'm going to burnish this card base. And I apologize if the camera is shaking. I do have the stand for this attached to this table. I do have to figure out some weigh on maybe changing things up, see if I can set this whole thing up at my crafting desk. But yeah, it's just a lot of thoughts got to go behind on trying to figure that all out. So, okay, so here is my two-tone cardstock. I'm going to pull in a sanding block. I do have these linked down below in the description of the video. These blocks did come off of Amazon. They come in a set of different like grits. So this is the 220. I do have this linked in the bottom, and then I'm just going to scrape over the top, and it's going to remove that black off of the raised parts. Now I'm not going to get every single part. I do want like most of it, but I'm going to leave some of that black on there too. So I'm just kind of doing a bit of distressing on this. Give it a little bit of interest. And you want to be careful when you do this because, again, the two-tone cardstock is thinner than our regular cardstock, and you could easily end up tearing it. So I have one of these lint rollers, so I'm just going to brush that over that just to remove any of the loose bits of the paper that you can see here. And I'm just going to pick this up. Now I did use this. Now all I have to do is just rinse this off, and then the stickiness on it will work again. But I just want to get some of these little paper fragments off of this. Okay, and then again I just pop it off, and I can rinse it off and then let it air dry, or I have a towel that I can dry that off, and then it's good as new. All right, so for this piece, I'm going to use liquid glue. I'm not going to use my seal because, again, this is thinner than cardstock and it will tear it. So I'm going to use that liquid glue. So this is the Tombow multi-purpose glue that we sell in our catalog. I just have it in a fine tip glue bottle. It does have a latex in it, so you don't need a whole lot of it in order for it to stick really well. And yeah, so that's why I have it in that fine tip glue bottle. Now the fine tip glue bottles I did get off of Amazon, and I do have those linked down below in the Non-Stampin Up list of supplies. Okay, so I'm going to press that down. And then we're going to take, let's see, what do we want to do next? All right, we're going to set that aside. Now, this is going to be the fun part because there is, like I said, the stamp set is red rubber. You can't see through it. I don't have the labels on it, and the reason that I don't have the labels on it is because the way the stamps were die cut by their machine, they're not centered. So even if I put the labels on, it's not going to be exactly how it should be. So here's where I'm just going to like hold my breath when I go to stamp this and hope that I have it stamped straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp, I'm going to put it on my block, and I want to kind of like look at the base of it and have it straight with the bottom of my block. So all I do is when I go to put it on the line that I want to stamp it, I just want to make sure that this bottom edge of the stamp is going to be straight with those lines. And again, you can see that there is more rubber up on the top of the word rather than on the bottom. So I'm being mindful of that as well when I go to stamp. So I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Now this is not the packaging that it comes in. It comes in its own felt pad. This is one of the white uninked pads that we sell, and I just filled it with the Memento Tuxedo Black refill. And it's, to me, it stamps much darker, kind of like the way the black stays on would look without using the stays on. Okay, so I'm going to take my Just a Note, I'm going to ink this up. And one of the things that I want to try and avoid doing is rocking it, because I don't want any ink along these edges. On my sample card, I did do that, and guess what? I ended up stamping that over ink spot as well. So I'm going to come down onto, let's see, the third line. And again, I'm going to kind of look at the base of the block, and we're going to see how this stamp, that stamped perfectly right there on the line. So yeah, it's a little tricky when you're doing the red rubber, but we got it. We got it. But on my sample one, I did use the Tombow Mono Sand Eraser to erase that. You got to be careful that you don't overdo it, because you don't want to tear the paper. All right, then what I want, I'm going to do something a little bit different on this one than on my sample, and I kind of thought about it after the fact. Let me go get one item. I figured, why not do it on this card? So hold on. Okay, so what I wanted to do, what I thought about after the fact, is that why not add some black splatters to that white piece of cardstock before I start adding the other stuff onto it. So I have my basic black Stampin' Blend. This is Stampin' Up's alcohol marker. Now, with our Stampin' Right markers, you can do like the spritzing, where you can use the cap on the brush end and you can just flick it. On the Stampin' Blend, you really can't do that, because I think after one flick, you have pretty much destroyed the tip. Now you can see that this tip doesn't look all that great. It is frayed some. So I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to tap it on here. And you can see that it's leaving some spritz marks onto that piece of cardstock. Okay, so we'll set that aside, and we'll move this. Okay, and then I'm going to take the Designer Series paper here. I'm going to add some of my seal on the back of it. Probably more adhesive than what I really need. I'm going to also bring in my silicone craft sheet for this part, so any adhesive that kind of hangs over is not going to stick to my grid paper. And I am going to place this right across here like so. And then I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to get my scissors. Let's see, take these, get my little charm out of the way. And then I'm going to trim off these edges. Like so. And then let's get rid of those. So there's our little decorative element there. And then I'm going to take some adhesive. I'm going to add that to the back of this. And let's take our Coastal Cabana piece, and I'm going to place this kind of like right, let's see, kind of like on here, like so. Okay, and then this other strip of Designer Series paper, add some more adhesive to the back of it. And then this one is going to kind of go over here like so. Okay, and then this too, I'm going to trim this. So turn it over. Snip that piece. And then over here, just going to go around the cardstock pieces. Trim it a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So there is our little bit of a decorative element there. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. It's a little bit easier to see it on something a little bit dark underneath. Okay, so then I'm going to take my paper clip, and my paper clip, I am going to kind of put this, let's see, how did I have this? Hold on, let me see what I did. So I came down like this, but how on earth did I do this? I did it this way. Okay, so I'm going to put my paper clip on like this, but what I'm going to do is turn it over, and I'm going to get a piece of Scotch tape, and my tape so nicely came off the thing. Okay, we rescued it, but I don't need that much tape though. Okay, and then I'm going to place this right here just to kind of hold it down and in place. And then I'm going to take a little drop of glue, and on this piece right here and on the end here, I'm going to add just a little drop. So a little bit right here. Oops, a little too much. And we'll press that down like so. And then we'll do the same thing with the end of our clip right here. Just add a little bit of glue. And press that down like so. Just so then that way this die isn't like sticking up and then it gets caught on something. So we have that tacked down in place. Let me put that aside for a moment. Let's bring in our binder clip. So the little stitch part that's here is going to be on the bottom. I am going to take my little binder clip part here, and I'm going to kind of place this where it's going to go. And then I want to put my finger where I don't want to go past with the glue. So I don't want to put glue all the way up to the top of it. I just want it on the bottom part. And again, I want to try not overdoing it with the glue. And then get my binder clip. And then we'll got some glue on the side here. And we're going to stick that there. Stick that there. And then I want to try and do this without destroying it. And kind of take the bottom of that clip and kind of tuck it behind. And I'll do the same thing over here, kind of tuck it behind and kind of pull it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there is our cute little red binder clip. So I'm going to take some seal here, add it to the back. Let's bring in our paper, and I'm going to place this right, kind of line up the top of that to the top, and we'll press that down. Okay, and then we have our little heart and we have our star. I want to take my star, add just a little bit of glue on the back of it. And then I'm going to place this star right over here. And then my little heart, I'll place that right over here. Okay, and then I'm going to take this whole piece here and I'm going to pop this up. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. There, there. There, there, there. Let's see, put one there, and then we'll do one more, like right up there, just so we don't have this panel all like saggy once we have it on our card base. Okay, got all those off. Let's bring in our card base, and then I'm going to place this kind of like at an angle like so. And then for my embellishments, I am going to bring in, these are the Shimmer Star Foam stickers. These were part of one of the Halloween suites that we had last year. So you have a purple, I wouldn't say if that's Gorgeous Grape, you have a white, and then you also have a black. So I'm going to use my black ones, and they come in 3 different sizes, and these are like a, you know, a foam. Is that what I call them, a shimmer foam? Yeah, they're foam. So they're nice and they're soft and squishy, so they're not going to add like this a lot of bulk on your card when you go to mail it, so you won't need extra postage on it. So I'm just going to add a few on here, and then we get this little tiny one. I will add that, let's see, right about there. Okay, so there is my first card. Let me just get this put back in here. And these are passport holders, a nice thick, do I want to say vinyl? And that's what I put my carded embellishments in. So love that. I do have those linked down below as well under the Non-Stampin' Up stuff. So there we go. There's our first card. So I like the colors of the Poppy Parade, Coastal Cabana, and the Daffodil Delight together on top of that black. So it really kind of stands out. So again, this is a case off of a card that I saw on Pinterest. It was dies that were similar to this, but it was a different company. I can't remember offhand which company it was, but they had this kind of color combination going on, so I just kind of made it my own with what I had. So there is our first card with our Just a Note bundle. So let me now bring in the stuff for my second card. This was a case off of something I did see on Pinterest. It was done with this actual bundle, but I did change it up a bit in regards to the colors that I had used. So for my card base, this is Cloud Cover. It measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of crumb cake that measures 4.25 by 3. Then I have some scrap basic white. So I had stamped the lines in crumb cake ink, die cut it with that die that gives you like that torn paper. And then I die cut another one out of basic white. This time I did not add the lines on here ahead of time. Then this image, this comes from the Christmas Greenery stamp set. used this image here. I stamped it in Crumb Cake, and then I had die cut it using the Christmas Greenery set of dies. Now, this was available in our holiday mini catalog that just recently retired earlier in January. The stamp set is still available. This is on the last chance list. However, the Christmas Greenery dies, those are already sold out. So now they are discontinued. Another stamp set that I am going to be using in this was in our online exclusives, and it's called Elements of Text. This too is now retired. It's no longer available. So I'm going to use this too to add some interest on my die cut pieces. And then out of the silver foil, I did die cut the clipboard clip for the top of our clipboard. So we're going to make this into a clipboard. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. So this is the detailed trio punch. This too is another product that is now discontinued. It is retired. So I'm going to punch. I'm going to slip my cardstock in there, and I'm going to punch, and then I'm going to flip it over, punch the other side, then come in, do the other end, and then flip it over and punch again. So there is our clipboard. Our little pieces, we'll get rid of that. Okay, and then let's see, what else do I need here? Let's see, we're going to stamp this piece. So let me get a piece of scrap paper. Bring in this grid paper that I had. Actually, I don't, for this piece, I don't need it. I actually need this so I can see where I am stamping. So I'm going to bring in this stamp here from the Elements of Text. And I'm going to get a block. And there is a way to kind of tell what is the right way for this. This looks like a T right here, so this is the direction that it should go. And again, I'm going to kind of take this text and look at the base of my block, and I'm going to look more at the block to make sure it's kind of like lined up with this, and then we're going to stamp that. And then I'm going to stamp this using Crumb Cake ink. And on that piece, I mentioned that these lines on this piece of white cardstock was stamped in Crumb Cake, and so was that Christmas greenery image as well. All right, stamp, ink. And again, this is going to be the top. And I'm going to come in and let's see, make sure that that's straight. And I'm going to stamp that like so. And then I'm going to bring in the other piece that has the lines already stamped on them. Set that aside. Now on here, this is going to again be one of those hold your breath moments and hope that this stamps straight. So I'm going to bring in my Secret C ink, and I'm going to bring in the stamp that says you've got this. And let's see, it's this one right here. Okay, let me get a block. And again, I want to kind of line this up to that bottom edge. Try and get it as straight as I can. Okay, Secret C ink. And again, I don't want to mash my stamp into the ink pad. I just want to lightly tap. I want to avoid getting any ink on the on the edge there. Okay. And here's where I hold my breath. I'm going to stamp it on this bottom line right here. So again, I want my block to be straight with that. Perfect. I'm really surprised that that came out straight and right on the line, because I'll tell you, when you are filming, things tend to not always work right. So thankful that that worked. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in like this grid paper. Now, cloud cover is one of our fairly new in colors. The cloud cover ink, it doesn't react very well with the foam pad, so that is why the regular sized ink pad that's in cloud cover, it was kind of discontinued. It is available to where demonstrators can purchase it. What happens, cloud cover is supposed to be kind of like this bluish gray color. However, that when you use the full size ink pad and you stamp with it, it dries to where it looks more like smoky slate, so more gray than having the blue in it. So the suggestion was that you can get one of our uninked ink spots. So they are little foam pads. You can get the reinker, ink this up, and it works fine. It doesn't change the color at all. It's a reaction between the ink and the foam pad itself. So this is kind of like that workaround for that. So what do I need? I need the Elements of Text stamp set again. So then there's these two stamps that have these splatters on them. I am going to use both of those. And let's get some blocks here. So we got this one. And then this one, I don't know, is it going to fit on here? Yeah, it'll fit on here. Okay, so then I'm going to take my little ink spot. I'm going to ink this up. I do love cloud cover. Cloud cover and Secret Sea are two of my favorite colors in this in color grouping. And this came out last year, so we have a whole nother year with this. Okay, so I'm going to take this one and I'm going to stamp it right here in this corner like so. So we got some nice splatter there. And then let's ink up our other one. And again, I apologize for the shaking camera. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to stamp this like right over here in this corner. So I really like that little effect there. All right, so again, what I do have linked in the description are the uninked ink pads. You do get like 5 in a package, and then also the cloud cover ink refill as well. Okay, so I think we have, well, we still need the paper. We'll put that aside. Our stamping is done, so I'm going to kind of move this all out of the way. All right, so now we're going to do some coloring with our blends. So again, this is from the Christmas Greenery stamp set. It's well, no, this is actually on the last chance list, so it is still available. The dies are what's no longer available. Those are now discontinued because they had sold out. So I'm going to color with my Stampin' Blends. I do have, let's see, we're not using, oh wait, that's black. We don't need that. So I have my light and dark cloud cover. I have my light Secret Sea, and then I also have my light Mossy Meadow. And so I'm going to come in and, whoa, we don't want that. I don't like when that happens. The cap actually comes apart, and it doesn't happen on all of them, but some of them it does. All right, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to color my leaves. I'm not worrying about doing any blending on the leaves at all. I'm just going to color those in. So you got down here. So again, even though this is from my Throwback Thursday from January 29th, I am doing this on Sunday, February 1st. And so yesterday and last night, I know a lot of you that, well, if you're from the Carolinas, I think where there's some other areas like nearby that got hit with a lot of snow. Praying that your power stayed on because they were even talking about some high wind gusts and all that. So last night when I had done my Saturday night live while all that was going on, there is a lady that does she does come on, she follows me, and she's here like every Friday, every time I go live, let me just put it that way. And she lives like down like the southern part of South Carolina, and during the live she was actually doing okay. So I'm just praying that her power still stayed on, that she didn't get like a massive amount of snow. I know there were some areas, especially like in North Carolina, that got hit with quite a bit of snow. So just kind of praying that everybody is safe and you're staying warm, that your power stayed on. And yeah, we got hit with it the week before, and we got snow, but then we also got sleet on top of it. We were very fortunate. We kind of missed the freezing rain, but the temperatures have still been really cold, and so we still have this stuff on the ground. And some of the roads here are also not fully cleared, so yeah, I actually have not been anywhere with my car since, let's see, the Friday before we got hit with all that stuff. And that was to go out and pick up, some food and other things, in preparation, for this storm. So, yeah, my car has not moved. I mean, that Saturday afternoon I did clear it off, that afternoon, but then we did get more that evening. So for the most part, most of it is off of my car. There's just a little tiny bit. It's supposed to get a little bit warmer, and we're supposed to get rain this coming week. So I'm kind of hoping that most of it's going to be gone now. They did plow like 2 days ago, I want to say. And now there's like these really big piles, so who knows how long they're going to last. Okay, so the flowers, I colored them all in using the light cloud cover Stampin' Blend. And again, the leaves were done with light mossy meadow. I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I add my dark. Now, usually you want it wet to have that nice blended coloring, but I don't want to risk having ink going outside of my stamp line. So I am just going to let that dry, and then I'm going to add the dark. Now I'm going to come in with my light Secret Sea. Light Secret Sea is, in my opinion, it seems like it's just as dark as the dark Secret Sea. So I am just going to use the light one, and I'm going to color in this bow. And the top part of the bow has like this shadow. of the back of the ribbon, and I'm going to just color right over that. And then let's do the ribbon part. And I'm using the brush tip, using that fine tip. I'm not going heavy on this. I'm doing it with a very light hand. Okay, and then we have this one. Okay. And now I'm going to come in with my dark cloud cover, and I'm going to add areas where there would be some shadow. And this will dry a bit lighter, so. Okay. And then we got one more right here. And again, I'm going with a light hand with the tip. So you can see that it is drying, so it is lightening up a little bit. So you do see the shadows on there. So there is our colored piece. And now let's go ahead and let's get our card all assembled. So I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. And as a matter of fact, there's another thing we're going to do. So before we put this all together, let me burnish my card base. And we're going to add some splatter to this as well. So let me get that grid paper again. And let me put this down right here. And then I'm going to bring in the, let's see, did I not have the dark? The light Secret Sea blend. And I'm going to add and try not to hit my finger. Can we do it this way? Yeah, we can do it this way. Okay. I think we're good. And again, I don't want to actually flick the tip, and you know, you would get bigger splatters, but you will easily and very quickly damage that tip if you do that. All right, now we can assemble our cards. So I am going to take the piece here that I stamped that text on. Let me see, where's my seal? Add some on the back of this. And I will add this right up here like so. And then actually what I want to do, now that I went and stamped that already, I want to remove like this this part here. So I'm going to end up taking off some of that. So I'm just going to kind of look at the edge of my guillotine cutter here, kind of get all of those little cutouts. And so there's that. Okay, I meant to actually cut that before I had stamped those little splatters. Okay, so now I want to bring in my clipboard, and I'm going to kind of center this from left to right and kind of come down a little bit towards the bottom. There's going to be a little bit more there up at the top. I shift this over a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take, where is my, oh, there it is. I need the top of my clipboard there. So I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of that. And I'm going to add it right about here. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, add some adhesive, and then I'm going to place this right down here like so. Get some dimensionals, and we're going to pop our flowers up. Okay, and then I'm going to place this kind of like over at an angle, like so. Don't want to cover up my greeting on the bottom there. And then for my embellishments, I'm going to bring in the 2025 to 2027 in color flat pearls, and I'm going to use the Secret Sea color on this. So these are a little bit softer in color. They kind of have like that iridescent to them, and they come in all the in color. So Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Strawberry Slush. And so there's 3 different sizes here. I'm going to use one of each. And then our tiny one will go right there. Okay, so there is my second card. So I really love the colors of Cloud Cover and the Secret Sea, and that crumb cake goes very well with it as well. So there is my second card. Let me bring in again my first card. This one again, this was a case off a card that was made using products from a different stamp company. I can't remember offhand who it was. And I just used the same like color scheme, but I just changed it up with what it was that I had in this bundle. So if you like the projects that I had made for this episode, this Throwback Thursday episode, again, that should have been posted on the 29th of January. Please give the video a thumbs up. Also, I have lots and lots of videos out here. I have Friday Night Lives. I have Throwback Thursdays. I have my monthly Christmas card inspiration, and I also have my monthly paper pumpkin unboxing and creating one of each of the projects in there. So it's under, I do have playlists created for all of that. Check it out if you like what you see. Please consider subscribing to the channel. And then hit that notification bell. It will let you know when I'm going live, and also when I am posting another video. Again, I put it away. Again, bonus days is going to, the earning part of bonus days is going to end tomorrow, February 2nd. That's where for every $50 that you spend, you will earn a $5 coupon. Remember that you also need to have a valid email address in your Stampin' Up account, because that's where they're going to send it. Also, if you're just creating an account, or maybe you already did, also be mindful that there are 2 different opt-ins in there. One of them is to opt in for Stampin' Rewards. You definitely want to click on that, because starting at $20, you earn 10% in Stampin' Rewards for your order, in which you can then redeem it in a future order. If you do not opt into that, you will not receive those Stampin' Rewards. The other one for contact, when it comes to me, I don't contact anybody out of my Stampin' Up! Website. I do have a monthly newsletter that I do create. I do have the link for that in the description of the video. If you would like to receive it, just click on that. You add your first and last name and your email address. And then my plan is that on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, which would be what, the 3rd, I am looking to have my newsletter done and have it sent out. So in there, I will have my whole list of all the product that I'm going to be using for my YouTube videos for the month of February. So if anything that I may be doing that Stampin' Up! Is offering is all going to be in that newsletter. And typically I only send out one a month near the beginning of the month. If I send another one, it's only because there was some other promotion that came up as well. So there are a few things that are coming up in February, so that'll be in there. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to stop by and to watch. And I hope to see you when I go live on Friday. So until then, everybody, please stay warm and be safe. Well, be safe wherever you are. But for those of you that got hit with the snowstorm out there on the East Coast and in the Carolinas, stay warm, please, and be safe as well. So until then, have a blessed one, everybody. Bye bye.